gonna echo. I fucked that up.
It's okay.
That's all right. It's a little realism for it, you know.
The timing was not on point.
No, it wasn't. My brain's not on point right now. I got all that bullshit going around in my head.
Yeah.
That was a lot. I'm glad we got it figured out, though.
We made a lot of new discoveries.
Lots of new discoveries. I'm pretty excited about. Now we have a way to upload the video to Spotify, which is kind of fucking cool.
Right.
It's gonna make it feel a lot bigger. That's what she said.
A lot more personal too.
Yeah.
I think with people seeing what's going on, I think it makes it more personal. Like there's a handful of podcasts that I listen to, and most of them I don't listen to them while watching the video feed because they don't have video feed. So it is kind of nice to just be able to, put your phone in your pocket and just listen to something. But then there's certain podcasts like the Joe Rogan podcast or Two Bears, One Cave, where, for me anyway, those ones, since having video, I can't just listen to them. Like I have to watch.
Well, with Joe's, I drive all day. I'm in
Yeah.
my truck, so it's a little bit different. But with Joe's, every so often, all I hear is the voice, and I want to see.
Right.
It's nice to put a fucking voice to a face.
Right.
Like I did today with Robert Kennedy. It's like, have you heard his voice?
Yeah.
That's fucking painful, dude. And I want to hear what he has to say so bad.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, I can't do it with two headphones in because I hear too much.
Yeah. Well, and then there's some like on Two Bears, like their facial expressions and
they're worth that.
Like the comedy aspect of that alone is like you gotta watch it, man.
I wish they were on Spotify. I mean, they're on Spotify, but I wish the video was on Spotify.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
That's all right. Coming soon. Lots of exclusive stuff for listeners and loyal listeners and people that want more. You're gonna be able to have more soon.
Yeah, we have some potentially very exciting things for everybody.
I'm really excited about all of it.
Yeah, we'll let you know as soon as we figure it out.
And that's the shitty part. That'll be in like 3 weeks. That's not even. It's not even. We're not even gonna figure anything out. We're just gonna have this dropped in 3 weeks.
Right. Yeah. By the time you hear this, your
stuff will be figured out.
Yeah. You might already know from other sources.
That's kind of funny that the excitement is. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3 week thing is part of the excitement.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So.
It's ironic.
Yeah. It's irony is strong here.
But. So.
What the fuck just happened?
Something exciting happened to me this week.
Oh yeah?
Actually, over the last few days. Actually.
That's good news considering last week's.
Well, yeah, exciting is. Yeah. I was being.
Oh, we're sorry. Okay.
No.
Great.
It's okay. I had to take my first legal action against somebody.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
For the first time, as long as I've been doing all of my own business stuff.
Oh fuck.
I actually had to take legal action against somebody. So, for all of you who don't know, by this point, I not only do software design and development. I am a software engineer, and I do, like, I build websites and I build apps for people, but I also am I have a pretty large in the I'm a digital artist, so like the graphic design space, and that ranges from, like doing logos, doing layouts, and different graphics and emotes and stuff for different platforms.
For example, the intricate logo that you see is that'd be him.
Yeah.
And I dare you to look into further detail, because you'll find all the detail you want.
So I yeah. Anyway, my range of graphic design goes from still imagery to, also I do a lot of animated stuff as well, like video editing, or making gifs or animated emotes or layouts and that kind of stuff as well. Uh, so anyway, I have a big range in the creative stuff I do with my own projects, my own business. So this week I discovered that somebody was using my artwork for a stream, as like emotes on their stream without my permission.
What are emotes?
They are they're essentially sort of like emojis, but they're specific to streaming platforms. So most streamers have like their own emotes where people can use them in the stream, and if you subscribe to that user, you get access to their emotes. And then if you're an active subscriber, you can use those emotes in other people's like Twitch streams or whatever. And so they're sort of a more personalized emoji type thing that is pretty much like a direct reflection of that streamer.
Okay.
It's a way, like they're all personalized for the streamers for the most part, and it's just a way to kind of help spread their name or their brand or something around. Because
Right.
if you're in someone else's chat and you see these emotes being used, you're like, oh, those are cool emotes, and the person whose emotes they are, I should go check them out.
Right.
Because
Gives you a visual connection for other people.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I understand. Yeah.
And it's also just kind of a fun thing to do.
Sure.
Well, so I discovered this, and then I had to reach out to that person and send them a legal cease and desist document saying that basically there was no permissions given, and we need to resolve it within a specific amount of time, or shit's gonna get real.
Right. Or,
You know what I mean?
otherwise, more actions will be taken.
Yeah. And it was a bit of an odd situation how this whole thing came about. I was being contacted by sort of a third party, or like a middleman in the situation, and part of how this happened was sort of my fault, because I was a bit trusting in this situation, which is kind of, it kind of sucks, because I didn't really think that, like, come on, just the disrespect. I didn't really think that I had to do all of that to fucking make sure I keep my shit safe when I'm just like doing inquiries with people and talking to people. So basically, somebody reached out to me and they said that they needed emotes made, and so we started talking and they told me what they needed, and we went over pricing and all of that, and I was like, yeah, cool, I can do that. And then when I gave them my pricing, they were like, that's way too expensive. Right.
Right.
And then they started this train of trying to undercut my pricing and just like, and not only like 20% or like 50%. They were like 80%. They wanted basically like free almost
Right.
for the price. And so we kind of kept going back and forth a tiny bit, and I kept offering, you know, some discounts in order to you know, in order to help out, but also because I had free time. You know,
Right.
I didn't have any clients lined up. I was like, sure, we can maybe work this out.
Right. Trying to be helpful, trying to make the deal, make a connection.
Right.
Right.
And so this guy was just like, well, that's absurd. I've seen them on, like, I've seen people on Fiverr make this stuff for like a fraction of the price. And I was like, well, yeah, but a lot of the people on Fiverr, they use, like, they have one specific style. And when they brand themselves, when they market themselves, like that's what they're known for, is that specific style. So when people are reaching out to them to get different graphics made, they're looking for that style, and they're expecting that style. And the thing with people that only typically have one art style is that a lot of the time they use templates for their work.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a base template, and then they just sort of customize that to appeal to that person's individual needs, like something that makes it more personal to that person.
Right.
Which
Right.
which is why they can charge $30 for like 6 different graphics, and they can get 10 people a day that are looking for stuff, and they can guarantee this 2 to 3 day delivery with these couple revisions, because they can just pretty much grind this stuff out.
It's basically it just turns into numbers, and it's a fucking assembly line.
Yeah,
You know.
essentially. And there are some people, like, I've reached out to people on Fiverr for business before, and they do good work. It's not discounting their work at all, and not everybody on Fiverr is like that, you know. But for me personally, and other independent artists like myself, we do all custom work. It's all from scratch, and there's
Right.
a lot of stuff that goes into the behind the scenes that people don't realize, people don't know. They see these, because emotes are pretty small. I mean, they're like, you've seen emojis and stuff. It's pretty small, intricate work.
Yeah.
And so,
Extremely.
so people see these and they're like, you want to charge $40 for each of those? Like, that's absurd.
But these things are extremely one-off, custom, with specific movement sets,
Right.
and it's everything that a person wants in an animation.
Yeah. So, you know, basically, like,
I'd pay $40-$50 to have something that was specific to me.
right. I start from scratch. I custom make all this stuff for people, and I go out of my way to do like research on these people, to see what kind of theme they have, to see what fits them the best. I give them unlimited revisions on their work. So most people offer about 2 or 3 revisions, so they get paid and they make a graphic, and then they send it, and if the person's like, can you change this thing? Okay, that's 1 revision. Can you change it again? That's 1 revision, right? And then if you get past that point, if you go like 2 or 3 revisions, they're just like, sorry, I'm not going to do it anymore. You get what you get.
So your
That's
services
it.
far outweigh.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. But I didn't just pull the prices out of my fucking ass.
Right.
It's based on the general consensus of not only the other artists in the industries and what they charge, but the people that pay for that type of service as well. They've all said, like, there's a typical range of like pretty low qualities, anywhere from about $5 to $15. Mid qualities anywhere from 15 to about 20-25, and then high quality graphics go anywhere from $30 to $85 plus for just standard emotes, to be used on these different platforms, right? And so people, when you look at like what people are paying for this kind of stuff or what's a fair price, the buyers say, well, I think 30, 35, $40 is good for high quality work. And then you go to all the independent artists who do commission work and like their websites and their prices, it's all average. There's people that are successful charging $30 per. There's people that are successful charging $80 per. It's all just, it's obviously based on you and your work and what you think your time and your work is valued at. And for me, I kind of chose to stay in the mid range because that's just what I feel comfortable with, right? So, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into the background that people don't know about artists. See, they see the end product, and then they're like, whether it's a painting or it's a website or it's a whatever, they see the end product and that's it. One thing, not the time and effort and everything that goes into it.
Boy.
And so, making these things custom, personal to you, doing the research to get a feel for your theme and like your general behavior, because it's not only about what your brand looks like, it's you as a person, how you act, what your personality is like. All of these things, they go into the different emotes because they have to represent you in a type of way. They have to be like, you came up with these ideas, you wanted these things for a reason, right? They pertain to you, not just something that thousands of other people use because it's a generic thing.
And that's what it comes back to, is like, if you want something to be completely personalized and not just another version of something that already exists, then don't you think that you're gonna pay a little bit for it?
Yeah, it takes a lot more time.
Right.
My average completion time is about a week per client because I take my time with this kind of stuff.
Details are everything here.
I will never ever send a piece of work to somebody, no matter what it is, unless I am 120% satisfied with that thing. So, on the same hand, if somebody asks me for something that's just like dumb or trashy, or I know it's going to look like fucking garbage, I just won't do it. I'll turn them away and be like, no. I know that you want this really basic shit ass thing, but like that's not what I do, man. I'm not gonna have that be part of my name.
There are places that offer what you're looking for, and it's not here.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So not only do I like to make sure that they're happy with the product, but I have to be happy with it as well. So I like to take my time and put a lot of work into this stuff. And so anyway, we couldn't really agree on a price because the total price for all the stuff that this guy wanted was about $350.
Jesus Christ.
Since he was referred to me by somebody, I gave him a discount on it, like a referral discount. So it was 20% off of that. So the total price was like $280, which is great. I mean, that's a great deal. And he was like, first he offered like 80, then he offered 100, and I was like, listen, man, like that's just too low. If it's too expensive for you, I understand, but I'm not a or best offer fucking marketplace.
Right.
You know what I mean? These are my prices. I'm already doing you a favor. It's disrespectful and insulting that you're even trying to like barter with me.
Right. Go to the store and go buy products and ask the cashier.
Right. And then he told me that like it's expensive for a new streamer.
Cool.
And I was like, I understand, but it's part of your investment. It's part of your brand. You're investing into something to grow your name, to grow your product, to grow your stream, to grow your name, right? It's an investment. And so anyway, we just weren't agreeing on the price, and he said that he was just going to go with the cheaper option. He was going to go to Fiverr. He was going to do that. And I said, okay, well, just let me know if you change your mind. Um, and good luck, essentially. And then he reached back out to me, and he was like, uh, the emotes weren't even for me. They were a gift. I was trying to gift them to the streamer as just like a nice thing for him to do. And I told him, well, if you're not using them for yourself and you're just gifting them to somebody and you don't have a lot of funds to work with, Fiverr's a great place for that.
Right.
Because you're doing something nice, you're getting these things made. They don't have to be fucking 200% quality because you're gifting them to somebody. It's a nice thing for you to do. So I told him that Fiverr is a perfect place for that. Well, then he reached out to me and he was like, can you send me a preview of one of the emotes so I can basically show him like your work or like what to expect, like a concept idea per se. So for me, well, I don't really do that kind of shit. If I'm gonna make something, I'm gonna make it, because in my head, my theory is that if I send you something with a fat watermark over it, or I send you something that's not completed, like there's no color, it's just an outline, or it doesn't look how it is going to look, then well, that's just stupid, in my opinion. Because then you're going to see that, and that's going to be your first impression of it. And it's a similar thing where when I'm searching around or looking for like reference photos and stuff, and to get ideas and just to get the creative juice flowing, and I go and I click on like an image and it pulls it up, and then there's a big watermark in front of it, I just X that out of my brain, and I'm like, no, that's ugly. I no longer think that that's even a viable reference image, because what I'm seeing is immediately my attention goes to there's a fat watermark over this thing. Understandably, so people don't just download it and use it. But for me, it's just a huge turnoff. Like, it's just when you see it immediately, like I know what's underneath, but I just don't want to look at it. And so I made a complete emote in different variations, different colors, different styles.
So
right?
even after the insult to injury, you still fucking adhered a little bit and sent them an example.
Yeah, because I wanted him to be able to relay that and give the guy something to see, to work with me. And so I made a complete one with about 4 variations of it, and I sent them. And I didn't send them in a way where they could not be stolen, which was on me. But I didn't think that I had to, given the situation. I was trusting. To me, honestly, it really I didn't really give a shit either way. If they did steal it and they did use it or whatever, like, okay. But
You might say that it's your neglect, but I think it's pretty fucking stupid for this guy to go whole, like, face first into a sale, say no, and then just blatantly steal like that.
right, yeah, it gets so much juicier than that.
Oh, okay.
So
Holding on.
so he gets back to me and he goes, he likes your work and he would like to work with you. What can we do about pricing? And I said, listen, man, just for you this one time, just because I have nobody on the schedule for the next week, I will give them all to you for half price, half of my usual price. And I said, I'll do all of them excluding that one that I already made, because I already fucking made it. The time is spent, the work is gone, whatever. For $150, take it or leave it, right? As a service to you, as a nice thing to your buddy who's going to be using this stuff, I'll give it to you for $150 for all of them. And he ghosted me. He didn't respond. He just whatever.
Poof.
For exactly 5 days, he ghosted me. Right, so part of the offer was that I would reserve the schedule for the next week and put you in, because I have nobody else right now, for this really good deal,
Right.
high price, which I've never offered to anybody. No one has ever paid less than $30 for anything I've ever made them, ever.
Jesus Christ.
I was just feeling kind, right? So this guy, exactly 5 days after that, he sends me a message and he goes, like, hey, my bad, sorry, he wants to work with you. What can we do about pricing? Again, right? That's like the 10th time he's asked me about pricing.
Yeah, all the fucking work week is gone now.
Right.
Thank you.
And so I told him in the initial offer that, like, absolutely no lower than that. Like, that's, and that's just because I want to help you. And so then he adds me to a group chat.
Oh,
Like,
God.
I didn't respond to him. He added me to a group chat with him and the streamer. And, you know, they were basically just like, you know, hello. And I said, hey,
What the fuck is this?
I understand that, you know, I'm happy to do work for you. However, I have to say this up front. I offered this person a deal because I had nobody on the schedule. And so, since he didn't respond to me, now, if you would like my work, if you would like me to make something for you, you're going to have to pay full price. It's non-negotiable. That's it. At this point, because now I have to fit you into the schedule, it's going to be full price. So, I'm happy to work with you if you would like me to, but I just wanted to get that up front so we don't waste any more time, right? And then they both proceed to be like, that's crazy, and just mock me for, like, the absurdity of my pricing. They were just, like, joking around about it back and forth. They're like, that's fucking ridiculous. How do you think that's ever going to work?
Have you talked to anybody face to face at this point, or voice to voice even? Or
No.
is this is all via text?
Right, yeah. And
Oh, God, makes me want to punch a baby.
And so, like, I've been doing this for a long time, right? And I've had people paying this for a long time.
Right.
It's nothing new to me.
You know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Sure.
And so then I just didn't respond, because I said at the end of the message, let me know either way if you would like to work with me or if you would not like to.
Right.
Just let me know. So I don't respond for a few days, and then the streamer reaches out to me and he's like, any updates? And I was like, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that.
Right.
I was like, you never responded. I was like, I sent you a message, told you to reach out to me if you wanted to work with me or not. Here's my pricing. You never said anything. I was like, all you did is just went back and forth about how the pricing is crazy, clearly not knowing anything about the field that you're reaching out to.
Did you tell him
or,
that?
like, how it works. Yeah.
Good. Fuck him.
And I said that what is crazy, though, is that I offered your buddy a deal half off, which I've never done to anybody, and instead of reaching out to me and accepting it, which was a fucking stupid choice, he just ghosted me. And not only did he ghost me, and I said, like, if he told you anything other than that, then not only did he waste both of our times, but he actually costed me money because I turned people away for having that reserved time for him.
Right, you had 5 days set for him.
Right, exactly. And so, and then I explained, like, I'm not alone in my pricing. I was like, if you look around, if you do research into the industry, you'll know that mine prices are actually below the average price. And they're on the lower end of the average price. And there are so many successful independent artists who charge the same thing, and there's so many streamers out there who pay the same prices. It's nothing new, it's not anything crazy. For the type of custom, detailed work, high quality work that I do, it's a fair price.
So right now you're talking to the guy that was going to be the recipient of it, not the original haggler.
The streamer, but they're both in the chat. Right.
Right.
It's a group chat with
Yeah,
all
yeah.
three of us. So, yeah, but at this point, I have excluded the fucking lunatic.
The first guy.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to reach out to the streamer. So,
This is frustrating.
right. So
Fuck.
then I was like, I've said all I need to say. It was a long paragraph, much more detailed than that. But essentially, they just didn't respond again. Neither one of them responded. Well, I come to find out that preview that I sent to that person, the streamer was using on his stream. Like, he uploaded it, he saved it, he uploaded it, and he was actively using it. Right. So, in my head, I thought, well, I have two fucking dickbags here that thought that they were gonna fucking pull one over on me, and that's not acceptable for me. So, I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kindly ask him to either pay me or to take it down, and if not, then I'm going to move on to something else, like reporting a stream or reaching out to the appropriate people to get it taken care of. Right?
Real quick, how did you find out?
Because I initially, when the person was like, I need a motivation, I'm a new streamer, I told him that I would follow his stream.
So you did.
So I did. So
Right.
I followed his stream, and then I found out that the person who initially reached out to me wasn't even the streamer. It was just some guy who was trying to give his friend some gifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I followed the stream because I had a feeling that this was going to happen. And so I looked, and sure enough, there it was in the chat history on his stream. He was using the emotes. So I drafted up a cease and desist legal notice and sent to them because in my mind there was no time for me to be like to waste any more time talking to these fucking people.
Don't waste your time any fucking more.
So I sent them the letter in the group chat, and the streamer reached out to me, and he was like, I'll pay you for anything I need to. I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. He was like, I didn't get it from you. I got it from somebody else. Right? So then I reached out to him and I was like, I see. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Let me clarify.
Right.
The emote that you most recently updated onto your stream was created by me. I have images of the creation process proving that they were created by me. I sent them to this person as a preview to show you so you can have a demonstration of my work, and I'm glad that you like my work and that you're happy using the emote. However, there was no agreement or permissions given to you to do so.
Nor is there a receipt for payment.
Right, exactly. So I was like, I understand that there was sort of a middleman in this whole situation, and you may not be aware of all of the details of everything that happened.
But now you are.
So if you would like to message me privately, we can figure it out. So he sent me a message privately, and turns out he had no idea of any of the conversation I had with this other person. And what the other person did is he saved the images and said, since he won't work with you on pricing, I made you this as like a gift.
What the fuck?
So this guy not only didn't tell the person any bit of our conversation, but he stole my work, then sent it to this guy saying that it was his own work, and the streamer had no idea that any of this was happening. Right?
Kids, this is why we don't do heroin.
Exactly. The dude's a fucking nut, man.
Fucking loon. Sounds like a sociopath.
So he was like, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I had no idea, man. He was the middleman in all of this. He didn't tell me any of this. So I updated him on all this stuff. And he was like,
Jesus Christ.
tell me what I need to pay you for that, and I'll pay it. He was like, and also I would like to work with you, but I just can't afford those prices. So if you can do anything to hook up the prices for me, I would appreciate it. If not, I understand, because like you're running a business, you have a family, all that kind of shit.
Finally,
Like,
some logic.
and I was like, no, I understand. I was like, why don't we start over? I was like, for this amount of emotes, what would you feel comfortable paying? Like, what's your idea of payment for this? And I was like, because I was thinking that I would give you the original offer I gave him of half off everything, $25 each, because you didn't even know that that happened.
Just to squash this shit.
And since he fucking declined it, I was like, I'll give it to you because you've been fucking through enough, right? And I was like, if not, that's okay. I was like, I'll just send you an invoice for the one that you're currently using, so you can pay that and then continue to use it. And then if you want to work with me in the future, awesome. If not, that's cool.
Yep.
We're now clear. So he told me to just send him an invoice and he'll pay it. And I did, and he did pay it. So I was like, I really appreciate that. Sorry again for the mix up. Sorry for the fucking like unnecessary bullshit. But like that's part of the gig, you know?
Well, yeah.
And then he was like, actually, he's like, can you make me some more previews for the emotes that I'm looking for? And he's like, I think I might actually just pay you for this. He's like, now looking back at this, I really, 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 really like your work. And I really want to work with you. So he was like, if you could make me some more, he's like, you don't have to complete them. You don't have to send me anything fancy. Just send me some rough ideas of these other ones that I'm looking for. And the ones that I like and I want you to further complete, I'll pay you for those ones. And, you know, we'll work together. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. Sure. And so then we kind of refined the details of everything he was looking for. And now he's on the schedule as an actual client.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Crazy, man. And like he ended up being like a really cool, really nice guy. I was really surprised because my initial impression of both of them as a collective was that they were both fucking dickbags.
It was trash.
And you know, they were just trying to fucking pull one over on me. And it turned out that the actual streamer who was getting this stuff had no idea what was going on. And he was being fucking middleman by some rat who was trying to just, like, who probably would have taken credit for all of the work that I did.
That's probably where that was headed.
Right. 100%.
Yeah,
that's where that was headed. And so, anyway.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, everything's good now.
That'll get you fired up.
No legal. Oh, I was heated the whole time, man.
Yeah.
The whole time.
You have more composure than I do at this moment.
What the fuck, man? But, you know, my wife was like, stay professional. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Professionalism was about to go up his ass.
And so I did, but, like, we both ended up just agreeing, like, that guy's a fucking shitbag. And, you know, it was just a big misunderstanding. But... so it had a really positive outcome, because now, like, this guy's going to get some work. And since this other guy tried to fuck him over, I don't mind cutting my price down to help this guy out, because he is a new streamer. That's a fact, right? He didn't do anything wrong to me. He didn't wrong me in any way. He was oblivious to the whole situation. It's not his fault.
It's kind of interesting that if somebody makes that claim... They make the ignorance claim because they literally don't fucking know.
Right.
That, being the circumstances, everything is online. Statistically, everything is online. There's a trail behind fucking every move you make, right? It's super interesting that you can actually fucking pull back and verify that. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, like how did this guy expect me to not, like, take a screenshot of our messages?
Right, everything is on a trail.
And he clearly doesn't know how the tools are used to make this stuff, because literally everything is timestamped. and you could see the whole entire process
Yep.
of from the start of creation to completion. So like,
Especially you.
right, exactly. I'm very thorough with all of this stuff to avoid this stuff. Now, to be fair, I should have sent him the preview in 3 different sizes on one background, making it nearly impossible for him to save it and then use it in any capacity. Because if I did 3 different sizes, which is typically like 112 by 112 pixels, 56 by 56, and 28 by 28 are the sizes that you need to upload to Twitch or whatever streaming platform to use, all on one with one background. So you couldn't just save it and individually use it. You would have to very skillfully edit it to make it even potentially work at all, which no chance of that happening. And that's how people display their work on websites, is they have like the full package of that they made for this person on just everything on one background, so that way nobody can just copy it or save it and reuse it.
Yeah.
But I didn't, because I was like, come on, like, I have some faith in fucking humans, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't think that I really needed to do that shit.
Especially for something so simple.
Right.
Well, I'm not short selling what you did at all. I didn't mean that.
No.
Not simple like that, but just a simple, you essentially just a helping hand for your customer.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Somebody just trying to get a foot up,
Yeah.
It's insane.
So that part was on me, but it got taken care of. We're all good now. But it was just like, it was crazy, man. Like, what a fucking situation.
Yeah.
Like,
to have
such
to
an unnecessary situation.
to have to just about drag somebody through the fucking dirt like that because they want to be an asshole.
And really, in my head, I was thinking the whole time, like, after I already made this thing, I was thinking, well, if these guys are cool, no matter what happens, I'm just going to tell the guy that he can just keep it and use it anyway.
Right.
Because I already made it. It can't be used for anybody else because it's specific to him. I was just going to be like, okay, I understand, no worries, just keep this one, whatever, no big deal. If you want to work with me again, let me know.
Right.
And then just give it to him for free. But then...
That's it's so funny how stuff like that happens, because I do the same thing. Like, I'm like, well, if things go smooth, then I'll just let that go and just, it's an example. We have a good relationship. If it comes back in the future, then cool. But then people try and fucking be smartasses.
Yeah.
And fucking one up you. And now you're like, well, now fuck you.
Right.
Now I don't want to fucking work with you.
Right. Yeah.
Damn, man. And you were gonna fucking, you offered to hook him up 4 different ways.
Yeah.
And still.
The guy was just like, no, he wanted fucking Fiverr prices. And I'm like, even if I wanted to give you some fucking copy-paste template bullshit, I can't, because I don't do that.
You see, I don't operate that way.
I would have to make a template, and then to figure out even how to do that is something that I just don't care to do, because that's not the type of work I want to do.
Right.
I don't want to make... Not saying that the people on Fiverr don't do good work. They do good work. It's just everybody knows that it's not... They're at their greatest potential when they're marketing themselves on Fiverr.
There's different calibers of everything.
Yeah.
And they're just a different caliber than what you are.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there are some people on Fiverr that do offer, like, the same prices as the other independent artists in the community. Great. Whatever works for you and is successful, awesome. More power to you. I respect that. It's just not my type of work. So, I will not stoop to prices that low for the kind of work that I do. And also, I will not compromise my work to make something that's worth that price. I wouldn't even offer to be like, well, I can make you some shitty, like, low quality, low detail work instead, because I just don't do that. It's just not what I do. It's not my brand. I refuse, because I wouldn't use it. And I am very open when people ask me, like, what do you think of my emotes or my graphics or my logo or my whatever? And I'm like, it's shit. And here's how I can make it better.
It's
like
shit.
You want my opinion? I'll tell you. It's fucking.
Oh,
it's dookie. It's dog shit.
that
man.
was good.
Like I can make it better for you if you want me to. If not, well then,
I think after this, you might have to. I'm invested. I'm curious to see the differences. So.
Yeah, it's very noticeable.
Yeah, no, I'm super curious to see what we're. I mean, it sounds retarded, but to see what we're talking about.
Well, and you can see, just like they have all of their emotes or whatever in like one section, like under their name, and you can see it like on mobile or on the computer. You can see the difference in quality very clearly between these different people. And so, like, if you're subscribed to a bunch of people, you when you're scrolling through your emotes to use, you can tell like what is better or what is worse quality than something else. Just by the first glance at it, I can see all of the issues with it. And like, it's just something for me as an artist. That's just something that I know. I can pick up on that. I can see that. I know whether this had a lot of time put into it, or if it was just fucking copy paste, or something that was made in fucking Microsoft Paint or some shit. Like, you can just tell.
Is this something we can Google?
Not really, but I'll show you. I could easily show you examples.
Okay.
Of it, but it's like. It's just a respect thing, man. And like, but see, the issue is that people these days, a lot of people, when they're looking for a service or looking for something made, they type into Google, I need a website, or I need some graphics, or I need a logo. And then it brings them to something like Fiverr, where they reach out, they outsource to other people to get things made for them.
So Fiverr's like the contractor.
Yeah, Fiverr is filled with a bunch of independent contracted people who are offering services. But it's the kind of shit where, like, they say, well, I'll build you a website for $200. There is no fucking website that is ever worth $200. If you're paying $200 for a website, you're fucking up.
Well,
like,
to which degree?
It's you're going to get what you pay for.
Well, I know, is $200 a lot?
No. It's
not good enough.
It's barely anything.
Okay.
Websites, like, I've made websites for people that are in the range of like $30,000.
Huh?
Yeah.
$30,000?
It depends on the size of the corporation and the business. If you're making something for like a corporation, or it also depends on the type of website, what the website's used for, how many pages, what size they need for all their stuff.
Jesus Christ.
If you just want a one page, like there's no about me, homepage, whatever, you just go to the website, everything you need is on one page, it's strictly informative, I charge like $500 for just one page of work.
We need to start making money because I'm not paying you enough.
my average pricing for a website, depending on complexity, which is extremely low, is the lowest is about $1,500 if it's in these parameters, and the highest is probably about $5,000 for a website. Now, if it clearly goes outside of these certain restrictions, then we're talking something else.
Right.
But most people that I make websites for are just small local businesses, or for like independent use, or just, people's own personal businesses, not corporate size level websites that they're going to use to further whatever, right? Further their company growth. And so, depending on like how many pages are on it, what is used for, whether it has like e-commerce, it's used for business, it needs a payment system to go through there, it needs a place where people can sign up for profiles and use it as like a social media type thing, if they want to incorporate AI into it. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but and I have guidelines for all of that. But typically, most of them range for, on average, it's about $1,500 for something that looks really good, but is not super complicated, and then about $5,000 for something that is like very impressive for a website. And so when you see people offering on Fiverr, like, I'll make you a website in a week for $200, like, yikes.
Basic interactions.
I mean, it's like you could just tell the difference.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
I saw my you made my sister's business page. Pretty solid example,
Yeah,
and it was I enjoyed it.
yeah,
It was smooth and functioning properly,
you're right.
which is I think a big plus.
Yeah, right. No, and that's super important. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into building a website for somebody, man.
Hers was super interactive.
Yeah.
Super interactive. So
That's another thing about, like, I don't make things that I don't
yeah, it's
that I
not
wouldn't be happy with.
it's not just a readme. It's not just a reading page. It's not an about me page. It's every fucking option has its own tab and interaction availability.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, it was smooth and I enjoyed it. So
Yeah. And responsive and
exactly,
yeah.
everything
So-
went somewhere.
Anyway, that's just the thing. They initially go to these sites, and so that's their expectation when it comes to this stuff. So then when they have a friend who's like, "Oh, I know a guy," they're expecting
I know what that statement means.
these prices because that's what they've seen on other platforms, and really that's just not how it works.
Right.
If you want to reach out to somebody, you should do a little bit of research into what you want, what type of work you're expecting, and then the average pricing and all that stuff. And in the end, if it's too expensive for you, if that investment is too much, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Go with a cheaper option, but you're going to get a cheaper product for it. And if you want a cheaper product, then perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not that person. I'm not that guy. If you want me to make something that doesn't make any sense, like there's text on a picture that they both have nothing to do with each other, and I think it's fucking a stupid idea, I'm going to tell you that I'm not going to make it because it's fucking dumb. I'm not. It's just a stupid idea. And so, like, but I like having that freedom to be able to accept and turn people away. And it's like most of the time, the only time I turn people away is just because they're looking for lower quality work. And to be really honest with you, man, I don't even know how to make low quality work. I learned how to do graphic design in the most advanced way that I knew possible at the time. So from day one to where I am now, it has all been, there have been loads of improvements. I've grown a ton. But if you look back to my first things and then till now, there's not a super big difference. There is a clear difference in the quality of those two, but there's not an extreme difference in the quality of them. So I don't even know how to stoop that low.
So
Like,
it's for me. The one place of interaction that I have with what you're explaining is super intriguing for one. But in doing all this shit with you, all the podcast stuff, it's really fucking nice because we both have the same really high end vision. You know,
right.
we don't even dabble in ideas of lower quality, or we try not to. And obviously money's an obstacle, but that's one of my favorite things about doing this with you is that your level of quality, you want it to be just as high as I want it to be, but you know how to do it. And it's a pain in the ass for me trying to pick up and just jump in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
But that's definitely like a huge benefit to working with you, and I fucking love it because you definitely don't stoop to that level.
Right.
Low quality is not something that you do.
It's not, and I've said this so many numerous times, but I try my hardest to give 120% into everything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I do. Because I don't really see a reason not to. Why, if you know that you're giving 80% of your full capability of doing something, then, like, just don't. Why? Why would you not just spend the extra time to make it as good as it can be?
Right, and if you're not going to do something to the absolute best of your abilities, then why would you expect ever to be placed in any above average place?
Right.
You know, if you want to continue to just, if you want things to just continue to be average and streaming along that same line, then sure.
Right.
But if you want to stand out, which obviously you do, then you never know. You could spend the next 3 years sending out your best fucking work to everybody and not see any result. But that one motherfucker that you send it to, that's going to be able to take you somewhere, you don't know when that is.
I want to be able to display all of my creations, all of my projects, all of the work I do openly, no matter who it's for,
Mm-hmm.
what it is. I want to be able to display it for everyone who wants to see it can see it, and not be like, no, I'm not going to upload that one so people can see because it's fucking garbage. Like, that's not what I want my brand to be. I want my brand to be everything is of the same level of quality all around the board. I don't want this person thinking, oh, well, his turned out better than mine did. What the fuck happened? Like, no. That I have a baseline, and my baseline is over 100%. Like, that's it. I want everything to be split. I am proud of my work, and I want everyone else to be proud of what they've been given, and to share that with people, and to be happy with their products.
Right.
Like, and I want to be happy to show those off. I don't want to send somebody a website as an example and be like, "Oh, I've made 30 websites, but I'm only going to send you 15 because the other ones are fucking trash." Like, that's stupid. Why would I want to do that? It's like, I spent the time to make this thing. I enjoyed doing it. Why would I not want to share that with people?
Right.
Like, so I set this baseline, and I make sure that 100%, and I go above and beyond to make sure these people are happy. I'm like, do you like it? Do you really like it? Let's see how it works and function. Use it for a little bit. Let me know how you think about it in every aspect. Put it here. Put it on a card. Put it on your website. Put it on a t-shirt. If it doesn't look great everywhere, let me know and I'll fix it. I'll bring it to that point where it is perfect everywhere.
Well, I think the coolest
Like,
thing that you mentioned earlier is that you offer unlimited revisions.
right, which is unheard of
Right, but
in the field.
that just means, to me, without knowing dog shit about what you actually have entailed in all this, I don't need to know anything else.
Right.
That means if I pay you, then you're gonna do what it takes to make it right.
Yeah,
Point in case.
exactly. And not to, like, toot my own horn, but out of the, I don't even know how many clients I've done this stuff for, I've only had one person ever want to revise something, and not only once, but a handful of times, because the things that was making him just weren't quite. He's bad at explaining exactly what he's looking for. And that's another factor that comes into it. Most of these people don't give me anything to work with. They just say, I'm looking for these types of graphics. Can you do that? I'm like, sure. But they have no reference photos, no color suggestions, no anything. So they give me full creative freedom to do whatever I want to, which is great. And I love being able to do that. But sometimes it fries my fucking creative brain because I'm trying to think of how to make things up from scratch, which is part of the amount of work that I do. Is I dig into their socials. I dig into the stuff so I can get a feel for their behavior, their theme, what they're trying to go for, so I can construct something in my head and then deliver them something that really fits them without them giving me anything. I do all of the work for it, which not a lot of people do. They say send me as many things as you can, as much detail as you can send me before I even start considering making this stuff. And for me, they're just like, I need this. I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can do with that. And then I swish the idea in my head around, and I look up some sort of reference photos and to get some ideas of what I'm making, and then I make stuff. But that's like hours and hours of work that they don't even know about.
That footwork and the mental constraint that goes into that.
Oh my god.
Is unspoken.
Yeah. But sometimes the burnout's fucking real. If I have any more than 2 active clients at the same time, my brain is fucking toasted, man.
So therein lies why your prices are fair for you.
Exactly.
If you're going to get to do all the footwork and all the constraint and every bit of the work, then why wouldn't you pay? Why wouldn't you charge more?
Right. Exactly.
So
anyway, that one person has requested multiple revisions of something just because the things that I've made, he's like, I like it, but it's not really me. And I'm like, what are you looking for? And he's like, I don't really know. I don't really know, but I'm trying to figure it out. Like, maybe something like this, maybe something like this. And he happens to be like a friend of mine. So it's not, it's not the worst thing. It doesn't. He understands that his project comes second to everyone else's because we've been going through this so much. But he's like a serial revisionist. Everything, he's just like, yeah, it's kind of close, but like, no, maybe just scratch that. Let's go with something else. And it's a pain in the ass, but like if that happened to me often, I'd be like, I gotta rethink this whole revision thing. But it really doesn't. It really doesn't happen often. 100%. These people give me creative freedom. They give me no references whatsoever. They give me a really basic, rough outline of an idea, and I create them something from scratch, send it to them, and they are thrilled with my work. And then they pay me, and they use the stuff, and they move on. And then they refer people to me. So that should tell you that I'm obviously good at what I do.
That speaks for itself.
Just from like,
yeah. It 100% speaks for itself.
I mean, and so like, I don't think I'm asking too much because I do a lot of fucking work. And artists in general, they'll tell you, man, that like the amount of work that they put in to create things for people, the people have no idea the amount of time and effort that goes into this shit. They just have no idea. Unless you're an artist, you don't know how actually hard it is to do this stuff.
Damn. What a fucking completely different world, dude. The whole time you're talking, I'm like, the closest reference point that I can even muster up is the shit that I love to do, which is like building trucks.
Right.
And I can only connect so many dots between the two. But I get it, It's more frustrating to think about your line of work because I wouldn't know where the fuck to start. So,
yeah,
it's this has been a super cool episode. I'm glad you brought up a little bit more about kind of what you do and what you deal with. I've talked enough with other people about my line of work and being labor intensive and shit like that, and I think it's important. Because I'm sure you've heard a million. You may not. Have you listened to any of these?
No.
Yeah, I refer to you as my IT guy.
Right.
To everybody.
Yeah.
Just Sheldon, he's my IT guy. Yeah, I'm paying him a bunch of money. I'm fucking not. So I think it's super important that people get to experience a little bit of the. What's the word? It's black and white between you and I. We've talked about it in the past, but your job and your expertise is a mental fuck.
Right.
It's a whole different world, like 120%. And
And that's why like I'm really trying to convert over to full time, and it's looking promising. But I'm so all it takes, man, is just like one dry month,
right, and
or
things are
like,
fucked.
and then I'm like, oh shit, what do I, you know, not that it's like so back to back where I'm like I'm like paycheck to paycheck with this, but just if if I don't get any clients for a week, okay, 2 weeks, okay, and then 3 weeks, it's like it. Not only are you like, yeah, you're not getting income, and that's whatever. I mean, it's a big deal, but it's like
It's stressful.
there's a bigger issue at hand, and like, why is this happening? How do I fix this?
Oh yeah.
What do I need to do to market myself more, to get more? And luckily, I've had pretty full weeks of like back to back to back to back to back clients, which is great. And right now, I'm in a position where I would be able to do this full time, because that would just give me more time to take on more clients at the same time. And I can pretty much possibly substitute my active income at my job with this stuff, with taking like a decent pay cut yearly, but be able to do something that I love to do. Not that I don't like my other work, but my own thing. It's a very cool thing that when people are able to do that, and I would love to do that.
No.
I need to be sure that, because I think I mentioned before the whole like making websites for people, that used to be my main thing.
Mhm.
Like, and I could even spend maybe a month, 2 months working on a website for somebody, and they're paying me, $5,000, which is, that's a pretty okay amount of money to spend a couple months doing a project for somebody.
It is, but not as a primary.
Exactly. And so, as a side business, a side gig, that was flowing in pretty nice, especially when the websites weren't really like super complex. So I got it down to about a month for websites, just to make sure, like with bug testing, and to see how it's functioning in a live environment, that kind of stuff. It was pretty much like monthly. I was making a good amount of money from it. Well, then everything took a shit, and now nobody is looking for websites, because they're like, I need my money for other things.
Right.
I don't have $3,000 to spend on a website, even though it might help my business. It's just I'm worried about buying food for myself.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, things took a gnarly twist.
I need to keep my business alive with that money, so I don't have disposable income to be spending on this stuff. And so I converted from the software development into more of the artistic stuff by doing graphic design for people, because it's a lower, but also in some ways an equally significant product that these people are looking for. Like, if a company needs a logo for their company, that's a pretty important thing.
Yeah, that's a significant step.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's their whole brand. And so I converted over to doing this more full time rather than software development, because the market isn't here at the moment for people looking for websites.
So you're adaptable.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But if, let's say, this happens deeper, and now people don't have income to even spend on art, graphics, anything like that, then what? Like, if things get so bad that now even these lower costs people can't spend money on, that's what I'm worried about. Is that, like, right now it's okay, but in a few months, will it still be okay? Not that I can't always just go back to doing something full time again, but I just, like, I don't know.
It's a lot of speed bumps to think about, and these speed bumps, you spend so much time trying to get ahead, and you spend so much time balancing things correctly. One of these speed bumps knocks you back easily a couple of months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're not, the way you're thinking is not fucking abnormal. You're just
Right.
premeditating an uncontrolled failure, which is smart.
Yeah.
Because again, it just happened to me at my work. You know, I spent this last probably year financially trying to fix a lot of things, and then dude, my pay at my work has been great. It's been consistent. It's been good enough for me to get shit done and get ahead.
Right.
1 month, 1 fucking month. Last month put me right back on my ass, dude.
Yeah.
There's that speed bump that's gonna take me months to fix.
Right. Yeah.
So you're not fucking wrong at all. You just, I think that you're a part of the things. Everything is online now, and all the success is online. Creators, streamers, things like that. That is the way to be right now,
True.
as far as money goes.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
I'm with you, dude. That but is what fucks me up.
Right. All it takes is just one. I don't know. I mean, there's like the other side of it. I know this has been going for a while.
We're
So
gonna have to cut it soon because I gotta pee.
yeah. We'll cut it after this.
That's
But,
okay. It's been a good story.
I think that it kind of goes both ways, because the more that you establish yourself as a business, the more well known your name gets. The more, like, I have a software company, a tech company. That's my software engineering, software design company, right? And so, for instance, like, if that were to get to the point where, you know, you're on Google looking for software engineers and you come across my website and you see all my stuff and you're a big corporation, you're like, oh, I like this guy's work, I'm going to reach out to him to build my website. And then that's where, like, the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per website comes in.
Yes.
And the bigger opportunities. And so, but they're not going to the people who don't have established names and established business in these different sort of fields.
Right.
And I was really close to hitting that point in software development where I was almost there, where the end of last year I was predicting to be at that point, and then everything just went to fucking shit. I had a few more things to add on to my skill set and my portfolio, and then I just wasn't getting the projects for it. And so there's, like, the one thing, you know, if you dive into something full time, your own business full time, and it grows to the point where you are very well known in a big community, that's a huge plus, and the chances of your business going under are significantly less.
Right. But there's always the apprehension of just jumping, making that final leap.
And if things go under before you hit that point,
Well, it's fucking,
then it's like,
yeah.
that's a whole other story.
Right, and that's heartbreaking for one,
So
especially when you're that close to the gold.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I was crushed. When
Yeah,
I was like, really?
I'm sure.
Nobody needs anything? Like,
that's what we're doing. That's what you're currently doing. That's what we're doing with this thing, is just trying to make it the best, trying to make things the best that they can be, so that way when the time comes to present yourself and take that risk, you know,
right.
it fucking works.
Yeah.
But it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't ever like having those butts in the air, those what ifs.
Right.
It scares the shit out of me, but
Yeah.
what do you do?
Anyway,
Just keep pushing, right?
that's it.
Keep pushing, keep building.
Another tangent about my
No,
my
like
stuff.
like I was saying, dude. This has been real cool because we were talking a little bit about this before. Getting to really know the different faces of the Me vs. Me cruise, and the different repeats and the different people that come on here, and that was fucking perfect. You came in, you said, you know, I got something I want to talk about. I really honestly thought it was just another topic, you know, because I don't know if you've seen my fucking list in our app. Yeah, it should just be therapy right there because I need it. The list just keeps growing. I thought it was going to be one of those, and no, I'm super excited that we got to hear more about Sheldon and more about what you do and what you deal with. You offer a completely different perspective than almost any of the guests that we've had. So
That's good.
yeah, it's super good because you know I want that to be available to the listeners, and I respect what you do because I don't know shit about it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it terrifies the fuck out of me.
Most people do. Most people respect what independent contractors do.
Yeah.
What independent workers do, especially the ones that are trying to grow their own business.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are understandable. Most people are respectful. I would say, like, 5 out of 100 people are just like, this is absurd. You know?
I was gonna say you're always gonna have your fucking smartasses.
Right. But most of the time, it's a very accepted and positive community. So, yeah.
Well, you offer even with your job, you offer a unique set of skills and a unique skill set of products, and then now to our listeners, you offer a unique connection.
Right.
And I'm happy to have that here. So
Me too.
I appreciate you sharing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always bring something unique to the table, and I fucking love it. Fridays are my favorite. So, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, but we again we have some pretty exciting updates to potential. We have exciting potential things to share with you guys in the near future. So if it all pans out, expect to hear about it soon. If not on the podcast, through other social medias, other ways.
I'll do my best to keep it quiet.
Or like an update. We'll probably just like put out an update episode
Yeah.
once we figure it out. So just let you guys know so you don't have to wait.
Him and I will collaborate a little bit. We'll make an update.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty loud as it is, so you might get some sneak peeks.
Yeah.
Some exciting shit coming. I'm
Yeah,
really
it's
looking
cool.
forward to all of it.
Me too.
It's going to be a good time. So, thank you guys for listening. As always, like, follow, subscribe. If you're on Spotify and you give us a follow, it will update every time an episode is dropped. It's supposed to be every Monday and Friday, provided I do my job. You'll get at least 2 episodes a week, I can promise that. It might be Monday evening. It might be Friday evening. Dude, I'm sorry. I get overwhelmed and I forget.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you will get notified every single time we drop an episode, no matter how long, what kind of episode, and that stands for YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. As Sheldon says, click all the things.
Yep, click all the things.
Click all the things. You won't fucking regret it because big things are happening and big things will continue to happen. So.
And we will chat soon.
And if you need any fucking software work or websites or any streaming help, get after it. We got one here. Email us.
Yeah, and remember to consider and respect the people that you are seeking work from, because it may not be as simple or as easy as you think it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to add that in the end because I was thinking about that. If you are seeking service and you want to negotiate the price, just remember one thing. You came to them looking for help. So if you're going to be an asshole, then try and figure it out on your own.
Yes.
Those are my words, not his. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Bye.